So the piece of work here, Workers' Maypole, is inspired by an illustration by Walter Crane, who was a book illustrator and socialist. The illustration was from 1894 and first appeared in Cartoons for the Cause. And it depicts a maypole with workers dancing around it, and at the centre of the maypole is Lady Liberty, who is adorned with a floral crown, and the ribbons that are coming from her body have these attributes of socialism, slogans about adult suffrage, no child toilers, equality, 8-hour working day, and these various slogans that appear on this illustration. There was kind of a rallying cry of English socialism, very much of the same tradition of William Morris and that English folk tradition. So the project here is to kind of take this iconic structure, this monument to Earl Grey in the centre of Newcastle city centre, and transform that into a modern rendition of the Workers' Maypole. And it's really fitting because Earl Grey himself was a reformer and a social reformer, was responsible for putting through the Great Reform Act, which widened adult suffrage during his time as Prime Minister, and also oversaw the final abolition of slavery. So he was one of the great social reformers of his era, and this kind of refers to this tradition of artists and great people in the north, such as Earl Grey and Walter Crane, pushing forward this drive for equality and fairness.
The other inspiration for the work is the Ashington Mine Workers banner, which we saw when we were doing a commission in Ashington, and it's got the kind of accolades of societies, and so it's kind of talking about what we value in society and what the miners at that time valued and the things that they were striving towards in order to create a kind of fairer society where these things were free and accessible to all people. You know, it just seemed, when this opportunity came up, it seemed like a brilliant place to put it. It was right in the centre of Newcastle on Grey's monument, and to kind of think about what these values mean in society today and where society's going and how things are changing, you know, and what our values actually are. And by placing these ideas right in the centre of Newcastle, it's kind of asking people to think about those things, like what do they value, what do they think is important, are we actually going backwards, and how can we work together to change things and to create a fairer society.
This site has been a space for dissent, protest, counter-narratives to what's going on generally with the sort of direction of society. It's this civic space where people come to gather and to speak out, and it goes beyond what it's used for in terms of its commercial aspects with these shops, and it's actually about society forming ideas.
It's a really good opportunity for us to be able to make work here at Grey's Monument. A lot of our work is really a kind of invitation to the public to join the work and think about the things that the work starts to talk about and join it by speaking out themselves.